Welcome to today's special edition of the debate of the presidential aspirant of the INC. My name is Dr. Adiebonye Jumbo-Abinye. I'm also a professor. As of the way that we're going to approach this, as we approach the 2026 INC election, today is a special day. We want to center today on leadership philosophy, institutional direction, and the future of the INC. And this is driven by policy. We want to have a policy conversation that is focused on ideas, governance frameworks, and measurable commitment. We want to be able to measure what these leaders are going to do for us. Therefore, as your moderator, as I said, my name is Professor Adiebonye Jumbo. I will guide the structure, balanced discussion on how we are going to be grounded in documented campaign positions and variable institutional fact to promote, 1, clarity, transparency, and accountability. And we have one objective, which is to provide the Ijaw Nation with informed insight into the vision, competency, and readiness of those seeking to lead us. So distinguished delegates, members of the Ijaw National Congress, I will plead that you should please wait until the end of each candidate's presentation to ask your question. Please note your question down. Now, our first candidate is going to be Professor Franklin Eripamo Osazie. Please forgive me if I murder the name. Our next presidential candidate, he holds FNSC and also FA engineer, a nuclear engineer, energy scientist, and seasoned public servants with decades of leadership at both national and international levels. As of the former chief executive of the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission, he transformed Nigeria's nuclear program into a globally represented initiative, guiding the country to key milestones set by International Atomic Energy Agency and establishing research centers across the nation. He also strengthened international partnerships and developed critical manpower capacity in nuclear science and engineering. However, beyond science and policy, Professor Osazie has served as Senator for Bayelsa Central, Commissioner for Works and Transport, and has remained actively involved in the Ijaw National Congress, including serving as chairman of its Abuja chapter caretaker committee. He represents himself as a candidate grounded in integrity, institutional competence, and commitment to unity, development, and self-determination of the Ijaw people. Please join me in welcoming Professor Franklin Eripamo Osazie.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So, Prof, you have the floor now, and you have your Ijaw brothers and sisters listening to you attentively. Please tell us, what exactly do you have for the Ijaw Nation?
Thank you, moderator. I'm quite happy to be here with my Ijaw brethren in the Americas. I'll start with one of my challenges. I thought it would have been proper in my communication with the larger Ijaw Nation, I would have been able to communicate with the Ijaw language. I can't do that. I think we have come a very long way, and because we inhabit a very large expanse of land, about 650 kilometers of coastline along the Nigerian state. And for that reason, we haven't had any serious way of being able to manage ourselves to learn to speak in one single documented language. And that is a major thing that I intend to tackle. It is something that is going to take decades to effectively implement. But as a policy framework, there has to be effort on the part of the Ijaw Nation to begin to find a way, develop an orthography that can blend a number of our own clans, the various dialects spoken from Ibino in Akwa Ibom, all the way to Rivers, Bayelsa State, Delta, and all the way to Arubo at the extreme end in Ondo State. That is something that people could talk about, but I think we need to put that to some form of serious action. And that is what I intend to do. How do I do that? It's going to be quite challenging in the sense that president of the INC is not an executive position with a budget line with which you can do a number of things. So it will require being able to partner with government officials, being able to partner with various stakeholders, Ijaw industrialists, linguists, to be able to do that. That is going to take a while, but that is something that I consider is a major challenge facing the Ijaw Nation, and it has to be confronted. Another key area that I intend to focus during my tenure as head of Ijaw foremost socio-cultural organization is the element of competencies. We have a major challenge. The challenge being that the oil and gas industry is in our own environment, in the Niger Delta, and the Ijaw Nation is the majority inhabitants of that area. But when you look at it, when you look at any of the IOCs that partner with the Nigerian government, the NNPC, you see a situation that the employment records don't quite favor us, in the sense that you have a large number of people from other parts that are there. And one of the simple explanations they give is we don't have the needed technical skills, professional training to do that. That is an industry. We need to take ownership of it. Ownership of it in two ways. First of all is industrial participation. The second component is we need to be a major component of the workforce. If we don't do that, we can only be complaining. You are not in there to effect changes that will positively affect the Ijaw Nation. So what I intend to do will be working with government agencies, working with politicians, working with public servants, Ijaw public opinion leaders, as well as educators, to ensure that we are able to develop a proper technical framework whereby Ijaw boys and girls can have training that prepares them to fit into relevant places in the oil industry. That is a key deficit we've had. I think we need to gradually begin to make efforts to ensuring that we bridge it. Another thing that also troubles me, Madam Moderator, is the fact that the Nigerian government has elected to reap the benefits of the oil industry, the profits. If you're running a business, there are two elements. There are assets and there are liabilities. The oil industry that is quite operational in the Nigerian industry, the resources that support or provide the foundation for the Nigerian state is being operated in a way that they are only interested in the assets. The assets are the profits that they take from the oil exploration and exploitation activities. But then the liabilities are in the area of the environmental degradation, the issues that need to be properly handled. And we also know that the petroleum generally are finite assets. They're going to get depleted over time. We don't know how long, but I think there are studies. The crude oil itself might be maybe 30 to 35 years or 40 years, after which we might just be able to produce enough for our national consumption. The gas may go on for a little bit longer. Now, if you don't begin to have a proper technical framework that will address the environmental disaster, the environmental issues that face the inhabitants of the Niger Delta, particularly the Ijaw Nation, when are you going to deal with it? When there are no more resources? Even now, I think the IOCs have been clever to the extent that they are shifting the operations to deep offshore. in a way that they don't want to deal with what is onshore and being able to manage community relations and so on and so forth. So one of the things that I would bring to the fore, it isn't now, it's been going on for quite a while, but to begin to deepen that thinking amongst the Ijaw Nation and bringing the consciousness of the Nigerian state is that, yes, we are reaping the benefits of the oil industry. We also have to think properly to deal with the liabilities. The liabilities being the environmental degradation that we suffer. Another key thing that I consider, Madam Moderator, is the lack of unity within the Ijaw Nation. That is a problem. And the problem is you've got quite some disgruntled elements here and there. For instance, I can tell you Bayelsa State is a homogeneous Ijaw state. And so we've got all the Ijaw people. There are various clans, in some cases with major dialectic differences. But we know ourselves and operate as Ijaw people. When you go to River State, yes, we've got maybe about 40% of the population being Ijaw people. And so they have some political leverage, to a lesser extent in Delta State. But when you move on to Akwa Ibom, where the people of Eastern Obolo, Ibino, are simply there marginalized. Who speaks for them? When you go to Edo State, where you've got some 5 Ijaw clans, the Barang, Oludiama, Igbemo, and so on and so forth. In some cases, they are not even allowed to have the traditional rulers that would be the leaders of those communities. People appointed, Nogies appointed for them in a way that doesn't work well. How do we position the INC and the majority Ijaw groups to provide the needed support for these smaller ones in a way that they can feel happy as Ijaw people and that they haven't been abandoned? You may want to go as far as to Ondo State, where the main Ijaw clans are the Apoi and the Arobos. I can tell you, I think in the history of Ondo State, since it was created in the 70s till now, we have only had a case of an Ijaw person becoming a minister. And that person happens to be Chief Mrs. Mobalaji Osama. She was an Apoi lady married to a Yoruba man. And for some reason, she became a minister. But then, thinking of becoming a minister, an Ijaw person becoming a minister in such an environment is something that you don't really contemplate. How do we, the larger groups, participate in the essence of politicking? Begin to network in a way that our brothers and sisters who are very small minorities in their respective states are being treated well. The little pressure, how do we do it? How do we exert that political pressure? It's Sunday we start doing that they can see us as being able to take care of your own brothers and sisters are in need. And that area will come when we've been able to develop a proper framework to ensure that the Ijaw people remain united. That is one of the key objectives of the INC. The Ijaw people should be united, but that shouldn't just be by way of written constitutional objectives, but we have to do things practical in a way to achieve that. Then one of the other key things that I worry a little bit about is insecurity in the Ijaw land. I am a native of Koluama. Koluama is a coastal community at the far southern end of southern Ijaw local government area in Bayelsa State. If I'm going to move on from here to Koluama, from here and go out to Koluama at this point in time, even at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., anytime in the daylight, I'm afraid of my safety, my security. I would have to look for some form of police escort or military escort and all that to get there. That's not sustainable. Where do you have the resources to be able to do that? And then if we have to look inward, who are the perpetrators of this violence, this insecurity? They are our boys and girls. They are our children, our nephews, and to a small extent, nieces and daughters. What do we do as Ijaw people to ensure that we're able to contain this? This is not something you leave entirely to government. They have the instruments of maintaining security, peace and security, so they'll have to do it. No, we need to talk to ourselves. We need to engage our traditional rulers, clan heads, community leaders, we know that if there is a very bad boy, criminal in our own communities, we know them, we can identify them. And if we have a proper cultural framework to dealing with it, it makes things a lot easier. For now, it is a problem. The government has to deal with it, and we are simply allowing that to consume the job people. Another key area that I would want to talk about is the element of allowing politics to devise us. In politics, we can belong to different political parties. And when people get elected, be they into legislative positions or into executive authority, they should do their best to ensuring that they develop the Ijaw Nation. In this context, there is something that troubles me from time to time. We haven't been treated fairly. We own the resources that keeps this country afloat. We're not getting a fair share of what we should, but we are also not managing well the resources that are due us. During the First Republic, it was 50% derivation. Then the unitary government introduced by Aguirre simply removed that. Much later, in the early 90s, it was now derivation was increased to 1.5%, later to 3%, and then during the Obasanjo era, it was increased to 13%. We've also gotten quite a number of interventionist agencies like NDDC and so on and so forth. The big question we Ijaw people have to ask ourselves, how well have we been able to utilize these resources for the development of our environment? It's a big question, and that would mean proper interface created with political office holders. They are the ones that manage these resources, and we need to hold them to account. You're not going to insult them or confront them, but there has to be a meaningful dialogue, and people have to take ownership. The Ijaw Nation is ours. We have to take ownership of our resources. We have to be able to be involved. You can't simply say, oh, they are the politicians, they're doing it, and you sit tight. That wouldn't lead us anywhere. And if I will also tell you something that troubles me is the erosion of good quality in our educational institutions.
Okay,
as a fisher boy who grew up in the village.
Please start rounding up, sir.
All right. As a village boy who had the opportunity to get to where I am, attending some of the best schools internationally, we don't see that being done. My parents only paid fees, if there were any, in the primary school, secondary, university, graduate school. My state government, the federal government, provided resources for me to be as competitive as I am. We have to get back to the drawing board, engage our leaders, educationists, government persons, public servants in a way that we need to strengthen the fabric of good education by providing resources that can ensure that our kids can study without feeling hungry and that fees can be paid. Rivers State government, which we are part of, did this quite well in the 70s and the 80s. I think our governments can still do it. And I want to thank you very much. I'm sure there'll be quite a number of questions, and that will take me into quite a number of other areas. I thank you, moderator.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, now we are going to go into the phase of asking him questions. Brothers and sisters, you have heard him. There's an opportunity for you to ask questions. However, I have one question already in the text box. So you can either unmute yourself and ask question. Just raise your hand, right, if you want to ask questions so that will stay coordinated. Or you type your question in the text box, okay? So I have one question, sir. And the question is from Madam Stella Dogobo over here. And she said, I'm impressed. But my question is, how do you, sir, intend to sail in the Nigerian political space to bring to the bear our emancipation?
That's quite an interesting question. Every political system in the world is participatory. If it isn't good, people have to work to improve it. Been back in the country by January of this year, January 17th, I've been back in Nigeria for some 35 years after living, schooling in the US and working there. There are challenges we have in the Nigerian political system. Yes, lack of integrity, lack of sincerity, lack of purpose, and lack of accountability. That is depressing enough. And so what do we do as Ijaw people? We are the cleanest, stay away from it in a way that let them do whatever it is. Yes, you can do that, but it is self-defeating in the sense that we are not wanting to help to develop a proper foundation for our children and their children. And that is where we need to struggle. We simply would want to say that Ijaw people who participate in the political state, the political system, must have integrity, they must have focus, they must have a clear objective as to why they participate. But non-participation simply spells doom for us.
Okay, wonderful. I have another person, Engineer Adiebonye Jumbo-Abinye. He has a question. Please unmute yourself and ask.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
The name of the Prime Minister is pretty familiar with me. I know that at some point in time he did head an agency, if I'm correct, during the Jonathan regime. Without sounding personal, sir, you were privileged to be in certain positions, and you also mentioned that you're also a product of government funding. Kindly, I would like to know what you did whilst you were in those positions and how you advanced the cause of the Ijaw people intellectually to be properly positioned alongside their peers in the West. So that gives me an opportunity to be able to appraise you on your past work. Thank you.
Thank you. That's an interesting question. The position of a chief executive I was for a very long time in the Nigerian political space. Working in a particular organization for up to 11 years is quite a long time. I was appointed by President Obasanjo as the pioneer head of the Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission. I did that job for 11 years. I worked with Obasanjo, worked with Yar'Adua, inherited by Jonathan, worked with him throughout his tenure, and worked for my last 2 years with our late President Muhammadu Buhari before leaving. I did quite a number of things in that sector. That sector required development of critical manpower. You don't implement a nuclear technology program in any country without training the needed manpower, the needed educational infrastructure, physical and otherwise. I did that. If I'm going to say a few things, at the time I left that agency, we have had about some 30 to 40 persons with doctoral degrees in various areas of study in nuclear science and technology, quite a number of them. It has to be professional. It cannot just be something merely directed to the Ijaw Nation. The Ijaws are a part of the Nigerian state, and there is some element of federal character balancing when you're training people. And I can tell you that the Ijaw boys and girls weren't forgotten. I also did quite a number of things in building needed infrastructure, setting up training institutions in universities, and being able to build laboratories and all that. That is very well documented. And I think the other one was Nigeria was respected as a newcomer country into developing, preparing itself to generate electricity from nuclear power plants. We did that framework quite well. In the scale of IAEA assessment methodology of 3 milestones, during my own tenure, a solid foundation was laid, and we were able to achieve milestone 1, and even got close to achieving milestone 2 before my tenure ended and I left. So those are things that are there to be noted. And then another thing I can also tell you, I think that responsibility also exposed me to some element of international diplomacy. During my tenure there for 11 years, Nigeria was elected to the Board of Governors of the International Atomic Energy Agency. It's a 35-member board. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, as at that time had 140 member states.
Okay,
it's
sir,
probably
please round up so you have other questions coming. Yes.
And so I was there, built some form of proper diplomatic dialogue in a way that Nigeria can benefit, a proper foundation in a way that our program was anchored on nuclear safety and security. So there are quite a number of things I did. It is a national program that wasn't directed at job people alone, but I did well to position our country, and I did that proudly as a German.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. All right. The next person that have a question is Abinye Ayo. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Moderator, and thank you, Professor, for taking time to brief us. So one problem I have with organizations like the INC and other sociocultural organizations is that participants or officials often present themselves or go into these positions for government patronage. And I know that in Nigeria, a lot of times, the government is the only source of, free money, if you may. I think an organization like INC should be apolitical and be the voice of the defenseless. But many times, our organizations align with government to further deprive the people. So how would you use your position to make sure that you are going to be the voice of the people and not side with government to the detriment of the people? Thank you.
Okay, and also, sir, before you answer, I will have a very similar question so that you can answer them all at once. This is from our brother Ebitime Posibi, I think that is his name. He said that INC has always been funded mostly by Bayelsa State, and that makes past leaders still towards the whims and caprice of government. What will you do differently in this regard if elected to separate the INC from the clause of government intervention?
Thank you. Those are very, very beautiful questions. I like them. I didn't have enough time to inform that one of the major planks of my own campaign that I intend to achieve during my tenure as president of the INC will be to ensure that Ijaw people take full ownership of the INC. We have currently 78 clans in the Ijaw Nation. And if I want to extrapolate a little bit, those are the foundational units of the INC. You have to be a member of the Ijaw Nation by belonging to a clan. At the current time, as I was made to understand, it is only in the Ibane clan that we have a membership of up to 1,500, courtesy of a very patriotic Ijaw man. But in other cases, you have membership in the clans that is less than 100, less than 1,000. We have very many large communities, and we could be having thousands of members of the Ijaw people in the INC. But I think we haven't made any serious efforts to ensuring that they take ownership. And so you have a small membership. And if that membership has to be providing some form of contributions or levies, they really can't deal with it. And we are now left in the very sorry situation where... Am I supposed to be talking?
Yes, you are. Right. Please mute yourself, just to remind you.
Gabriel, please mute your...
I'll mute him right now. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And when you are in a position where the only succor, the little resources to run the INC are provided by government, then you've got a challenge. You don't have the moral courage to be able to confront them when they are doing things not properly. We are not here to fight with government, but ours is to have a very constructive dialogue with them. But when you're doing that, you don't have to be beggarly. So what I intend to do as an INC president would be to ensure that we broaden the participation base. Let the Ijaw people take ownership of the INC, be it at the community level, at the clan, in a way that, yes, our contributions won't be able to do it, but if we're doing well and we show enough accountability, there will be well-meaning Ijaws who will be able to contribute. And one of the key things I talk about in being able to provide enough resources to ensure that the INC is sustainable over time is that we have to start thinking of some investment plan. You wait some 5 million naira monthly or whatever comes from government, you spend it, the next month you repeat the same thing year in, year out. We may have to make appropriate contacts, convince people to provide some seed funding that could be invested in a way that the returns should be able to carry on the little bureaucracy of the INC. If we don't do that, how do the Odua companies survive? It was done during the Western Nigeria period, the Yoruba group. And those companies, the investments are still very functional and they get dividends distributed to the company states and so on and so forth. So it's about time we're thinking what do we do to be able to generate resources and not entirely depending on government stipends that can't sustain the INC.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that answer. We have another question. We'll take probably one more after this one, then we'll move to the next candidate. Roland, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've had the opportunity to discuss with other.
You're kind of
not on a consistent basis.
Okay.
But can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
You're kind of breaking a little bit. Maybe if you can find a better area.
Oh, it's my connection. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Let me be as brief as I can.
Okay,
all right.
ahead.
I have had the opportunity to discuss with some Ijaw sons and daughters. What the Prof has just said is in line with some of the suggestions that I made to them. But my challenge is this. Prof, you have the benefit, which is rare, to be a technocrat and an academic. Those are two paradigms that are in one person. And usually when they are matched together, you become a threat to the status quo. I have told guys that we need to have a way to get a minimum of 100,000 Ijaw sons and daughters as active participating members of the INC and its subjugate body, the IYC. I told them that severally. And then to the point, which warmed my heart, but also made it clear that for somebody who has been in the system to still have this kind of thoughts, that is why he probably has not been able to do what Daddy Owe asked him. And I refer to that as a grandfather complex that people do not know about the Nigerian state. That the way asking you were at so and so position, what have you done? You know, I'm paraphrasing as an Ijaw man for the betterment of the Ijaw people. You were in that federal parastatal. He answered and he gave an answer, but the one I picked out was the federal character issue, which is a tool of blackmail that stops you from intentionally favoring your own people. It takes guts to look at your own people and
I'm
bring
sorry,
them up.
can you just go straight to the question that you want to ask?
Okay.
Him? Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Now, how would you, looking at the investment plan, one, the mobilization, because I refer to it as mobilization to get more people inside the INC for them to take ownership of the organization and therefore be able to pursue their collective objective. How would you do this without the negative and corrosive influence of influence peddlers whose connection to government officials has been destabilizing to the organization? How can you handle this, please? These two. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Also, just about 1 minute or two to answer this question so that we can move on. Thank you.
Thank you. That is a nice question. And quickly to answer, being able to deal with the constitutional requirements when you are a chief executive. Roland, I'll tell you that we are part of a country. When Nigeria was, the Southern and Northern Protectorates were amalgamated in 1914, and finally we became an independent country in 1960. We have a constitution. There are requirements. It is a blackmail, but as a chief executive, you also have consequences if you don't get on with that. There are ways you can go past that, and I think we've done. Did I employ job people and so on and so forth? I don't need to talk about that on this type of a forum. But I'm a job man who understands my basis and what I need to do. The other quick thing I would want to tell you is that we'll have to move on from clan to clan. We have to move on to communities. The main issue is you have to have the government buy-in. They can mobilize with the information network and so on and so forth. But the key thing here is the leader of INC must have integrity. If the people who are going to be giving you the handout and things that sustain you don't believe that that is meant for a purpose, they're not even going to invest in that. The plan has to be developed. We're going to bring people with good business expertise and all that, financiers and all that in Ijaw land to doing that. And we have to set up a framework, a management framework that takes that away from INC leadership. So you don't get something working well, and by the time you're away, somebody else comes and plunders it and all that. So those are challenges, but the bottom line is if we have a proper, sincere, believable leadership of INC with integrity, there could be a change in some way. It's not going to be overnight, but it's something that we can achieve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, I think that's the last question for now. But sir, I have one question for you. Now, we talked about unity. You've also talked about being transparent and accountable. What are the methods that you're going to use? Because in a position or in anywhere where there is no system in place, there are bound to be, chaos. What are some of the systems that you're going to implement to help you run this leadership if you are elected?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I think it's what I have done. I served as head of Nigeria's Atomic Energy Agency, the pioneer head, and did that job for 11 years. It's been 8 years since I left that position. There hasn't been any situation of me being invited to any agency for investigation and so on and so forth. So it has to depend on who heads it and the kind of framework you need to put in place. The bureaucracy of the INC is a very small one. You've got a small number of officials who are elected, a small number of people who are employed to work. So I think it's coming with a proper management framework. You have to do it in a way that there is a proper accounting system. People don't just have access to little resources that we don't have, spend them, and then you continue to ask. So I think I have had quite a lot of exposure, practice in this area as a chief executive, and I intend to bring that to bear, ensuring that there is some serious accountability within the framework of the INC. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. So in 1 minute, what is your last word to the delegate who is going to be voting, and also to assure the INC members across the globe that you're the right candidate to lead and steer the ship?
My brothers and sisters of the Ijaw Nation, I present myself to you to lead the INC. I am a village fisher boy who had grown up to an international person, technologically and otherwise. I know the deprivations we suffer, and we are still suffering. Mine is to come with a different tilt. Work in partnership with people in government, get community leaders. Let's change the attitude of leadership in the INC and do it in a way that we are putting in place a framework that will bring in sustainable development and ensure that our children and their children are able to live in a country, in an Ijaw Nation, where they are proud and could be quite competitive. It's going to be challenging, but you don't achieve something by not trying. We have the framework to achieve that. All we need to do is to strengthen it and ensure that the Ijaws are united. And there's nothing that we can't achieve. It may take time, but it's better we start. I thank you very much, and I believe I'll provide very good leadership for you. Onua.
All right, great. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here this evening or this afternoon from our time. Okay, moving ahead, we are going to move with
Can I quietly leave now?
Yes, if you wish.
Thank you very much, madam. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Our next candidate of the Ijaw National Congress presidency is Sir Adiebonye Jumbo-Abinye, OON, a respected traditional ruler, community leader, and advocate for the empowerment of Ijaw people. He is a founder of the Nengi James Foundation, supporting vulnerable children, youth, the elderly, and persons with disabilities across the Niger Delta. A former youth leader and founding member of the Ijaw Youth Council, Sir Adiebonye James has been actively involved in Ijaw movement and continues to champion inclusion, environmental justice, and stronger community representation. He serves as a national vice president, too, of the Ijaw National Congress and brings a people-first leadership approach rooted in cultural pride, service, and sustainable development. Please join me in welcoming Sir Adiebonye Jumbo-Abinye, OON.
We'll praise this one.
Welcome, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good. Can you please, can you be on video or no?
You know Nigerian state now.
Okay.
There is no light in my compound. And
Okay.
my generator is having problems. So as I'm talking to you, they have been working the generator to make sure I have light.
Okay.
So please bear with me. I'm outside my house.
No problem, sir. So go ahead. So what do you have to tell your brothers and sisters across the world listening to you this afternoon or this night, your time?
Thank you very much.
You have 15 minutes to do that, please.
God bless you. I think I will do justice to the time allotted to me.
Wonderful.
I remain as being introduced. With due respect and humility to Ijaw sons and daughters at home and diaspora, I want to thank you very much for bringing me in this debate. It's not new. When I contested for vice president, we were also drilled in this exercise. And I'm very grateful that our people over there also voted me. I know that you will also vote me again. I want to say that my policy drive will be a collective one. It cannot be I syndrome. It has to be, hello?
Yes, we're hearing you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. It has to be something practical, visible, and partnership, collaboration, and including the identity of Ijaw Nation. What I mean identity. First, we as Ijaws, we need to know that we are Ijaws. It's because you are not even seeing me. First, we need to identify ourselves as a people anywhere in the world that you are proud Ijaw man with your cultural identity of your dressing. That is very important. And the issue of going along to inform the people that you are a president, you must always be presidentially dressed with Ijaw materials. That is first. Second, I want to inform you that the first thing we need to do as a person, I and my team, because you cannot walk alone. People will be voted from whether I don't have a slate, I have my face. So anybody that is voted along with me, or we will work together as a team. And in way of team building, you must have think tank to work with. So I believe, we believe as a team, we will believe that other people like you at diaspora and the clan level, the zonal level, and technocrats and everyone will form a broad-based advisory committee that will be in WhatsApp. And these people will continue to coordinate affairs with us because we need to listen to the people both home and abroad. If we are in problems, for instance, Ijaw people need unity. It's true. Because we are not totally united. For instance, how can in Bayelsa we try to identify ourselves as core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw? That is not abnormal. It's unfair. We ought not to do that. But we have started bringing core Ijaw and not core Ijaw. Who is Ijaw and who is not Ijaw in Bayelsa State? For me, I'm a proud Ijaw man anywhere, any day, anytime. I want to say that the networking of my unity program as a practical Ijaw man that has been on ground as a grassroots activist is to use the template we use in IYC model, but not the same. Because we started, Felix Todolo, Ronto Douglas and I, we started by saying we should have a mobile parliament. That mobile parliament is not parliament per se, but is to reach out to every nooks and cranny. If we are going to Gelegele, we are going to Gelegele. If we are moving to Azuzama, we are moving to Azuzama. Akasa, Okboma, anywhere, Boni, Ibino, Eastern Obolo, anywhere that we move to, that is a way of sensitizing the people, mobilizing the people. In mobilizing your people and sensitizing your people, you create opportunity for cultural identity and language unionism. Because the communitization process is very important. We have to take a whole technique, strategy, and tactics to make sure we influence the government. Our main job in INC is to influence, is to lobby, is to negotiate, is to dialogue, and is to partner with other institutions and government ministries and departments to make sure the right thing is done. In doing so, we have problem of security. How can a Ijaw man being kidnapped in Ijaw land? That is a shame. So we need to work towards that. In the template of IYC, we know, I don't want to go into what we did and what we promoted, but that was between we and the oil industry and the Nigerian state. Some of us were incarcerated based on certain things. But I want to inform that we need to stop that attitude, Ijaw man kidnapping Ijaw. So there must be a serious aggressive sensitization and mobilization down to the creeks, down to the communities, clan, and in fact, every part of Ijaw land must feel INC as they are feeling Ijaw Youth Council. And that will now communitize the process of everyone in the village knowing that INC is our home. Let it not be elitist issue. People stay at their comfort and driving the people. So for me, INC must be people's driven to make sure the job people are united across board. Look at Edo State. For instance, if my team succeed, we need to partner and dialogue with the Edo State government, if need be, even the chiefs and king of Edo State. Till today, no Ijaw man have grabbed any good position, even councillor. I'm sorry to say this. So we are not settlers. We have our own identity in Edo State, but the way we must drive the process is to make sure we don't stay at our offices to talk about issues. We must reach out to the rest of the society. So I have a proposal called Ijaw Security Network, or you can frame it Ijaw Territorial Guide. If that proposal works, and we align ourselves with some of our surveillance people in every community, either 10 or 20 persons will be employed on this issue within the disguise of the surveillance group, so that we will have distress information, so that over 10 to 5 phone lines in the office. So if anything is happening in Okomu or anything happening in Ofoniama, though 24 hours, these phone lines will be working, and you will put down what the messages are. That is a way of reaching out to our people, because so many of them are in remote area like Tangana, Ekene, Ezetu, and down below. So if that is the case, we must create opportunity of modern digital method. So if digital works, not only for websites, for the city people, but we need to create opportunity to reach out to the. So there must be distress. There must be a combing system where this security body will now be liaising with other security body, as it is in Isoko security network, Orobo security network, and other security network. I think that will take care of these people going to our bush, in our waterways, and in trespassing in our land. I think people need to talk to people. So we need to use a strategy that is a security matter. So we need to use a strategy to get the security situation in Ijaw land according to the Ijaw people, because our topography is our identity. So we need to use our topography better for our people. Based on that, we may move to area of our clans and communities, where our organs.
Sorry, you have 1 more minute left, please.
Oh. So what I'm saying that, okay, environmental degradation. I've been in the forefront of the Ijaw environmental issues. I have a book called Oceanification, which we talk about the socio-economic situation of the Ijaw Niger Delta people. How the divestment is on. All these companies are moving to the Ijaw land, Ijaw waterways, who are now checkmating this environmental degradation and abuses and violation of human rights at our waterways. And again, the structural identity of our INC must change. We must be proactive in handling matter, where we need to partner with the political office holder, not me sitting down, armchair president. You have to move to them, and you people need to work together. So if they have a constituency project, we need to partner with them. Those who are even in INC should benefit. And the female gender method, we need to incorporate women. Women-friendly issue must happen. And the vulnerable group, what I mean, the disabled and the physically challenged people must also carry it on. But for sensitization order, that is non-stop. It's a mobilization train. So I want to say that the CTREP need to be strengthened, our organs need to be properly strengthened, and we need to work with everyone and carry everyone along. For transparency and accountability, that is the hub of every organization.
Thank you.
The constitution, the grand norm, is there. That is our Bible. The vision and mission is identified in our grand norm. We need to adhere to it and work accordingly. So by the grace of God, a job need to move forward. We need to act differently. We need to have better strategy and tactics to move Ijaw Nation forward for a greater journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Alabo. Okay, we have a couple of questions and also a few that I want to ask you directly. The first
no problem, I'm ready.
Sure. The first question is from our brother Ibitemediyo Posibi. He says, Sir Alabo, you are a member of the current ESCO. One very critical issue about the current ESCO is its detachment, far removed from the people it's supposed to serve. And speaking as Chairman Emeritus, what will you do differently if elected?
That I think I also explained that why I start the opening speech. Mobilization and sensitization, which I mentioned the issue of when we are in IYC, the mobile parliament system. And in INC, I tabulated issues like that, itemized it, and we carry on from Eastern Zone, Western Zone, but it was upfront issues. It was not grassroots based. But as a vice, you are a spare tire. You are only carrying out delegated duties. And I believe that I have known the weakness and the strength of our EXCO. So I'm more strong in sensitizing and mobilizing. As I'm informing you now, the thousands of people have registered, but they don't know the basis of INC. So it's now time for me to reach out anywhere you are. Madam, as I'm talking, you can ask any Ijaw man. There is no Ijaw community and village that I have not stepped into. Nobody will deny me. That is the mobilization and what he's talking about. I don't want to be armchair president. I want to be in if it is Azuzama, I want to be in Azuzama. If it is Apoy, I want to be in Apoy. If it is Boni, I want to be in Fenima. So this is how a president needs to move and mobilize the people to know the identity of INC. And as I'm talking to you, if you come to Bayelsa State, just 2 weeks ago, I launched the Ijaw language and culture billboard. Is here at the center of Bayelsa State. They will inform you. That is I'm the Ijaw cultural ambassador that was given to me by the women, Ijaw mothers in Ijaw land. So first thing what the man said is true. We lack that mobilization, which need to be highly corrected by somebody experienced persons like us.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We have another question from Dadewi, Engineer Dadewi. Akbati, please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, with all due respect, sir, I think it was people like you, not sounding disrespectful, that gave us an impression of a militant people. Now we have left that era of agitation. So let me finish my question so you would understand. We have left that era of agitation. You headed a section of NIMASA. I want to ask, whilst in that position, what did you do to at least attract a school of maritime to come to our area to properly position our people to compete with the Yorubas that have taken over that environment? Because we're no longer in that era of agitation, but intellectual agitation to properly position ourselves. So what role did you play in that your position to give us at least a school?
Okay. All right.
First, I want to correct you. I have never worked for NIMASA. I have never held any political position. I'm just a career administrator. I read administration, and I'm a deputy director administration, and I'm a full philanthropy. I use what I have to help people. Right from my mother's birth, I fell into the river while fishing with her. So I know how we suffered from the fishing port to Port Harcourt to here. So I have never worked with any Minimansa. So I can't answer that question for now. I'm not a Nemansa person.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I get that's misinformation. Okay. All right. So let's move on. We have another question. But before then, we wanted to identify who is Adesola, please. Who is Adesola? Okay. I guess that person is no longer here. We wanted to identify if it's an Ijaw person. All right. Moving ahead, we have Mr. Roland. Please go ahead with your question.
Oh, Roland.
Yeah, well done, sir. How you do? Well done.
Keep us for you.
You don't say. It is well. My issue is this. Say as a fellow naming man, I would open my mouth and talk. You said, My take is this. I appreciate your sacrifices. I've been following you. When we talk about those who have been in you and Alabo, what was his name again? The two of you and a couple of other guys, you have done well on the ground, especially him, Maurice Alagwa, when he was working with this other organization on the environmental challenges. I've been following the two of you. Now, I am being as blunt as I can. Do you think that we need a political agenda or an economic agenda for the INC? I don't want to go into details why I'm asking this question. I need you to look at it deeply and just give a very brief overview. We can talk later on. But what do you think we need, an economic agenda or a political agenda? Because right now, what you are talking about is political.
Okay.
It's not affecting people. Please, just.
All right, sir.
Let me just have your answer, please.
All right, sir. Well, please answer the question. You have 1 minute. Salabo, are you still with us? Salabo? Maybe his network.
Yeah. Okay, it might be having an issue. I can use a minute to just say why, so the members of the house here can look at it too. You see, you need activism for mobilization and to gather people to know about who you are, what you want to do, aggregating their interests and creating a collective direction. That he has done marvelously. I give it to him. But people are hungry. People are disenfranchised. People do not have access to capacity to be able to ensure that they can take care of themselves and their families. How do we use the INC as a tool to both solve economic or life challenges while pushing for the political goal or desire that we have? That's my challenge. I want us to think about that. So when we are looking at whoever is going to be in these positions, we need to be very, very blunt and be ruthless in handling anybody that comes up front.
Am I there?
Okay, all right, he's back. So give him the opportunity to answer the question.
Sure,
sir, did you hear the question?
Roland.
Did you hear his question?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Did you hear his question?
Yes, I had this question.
All right, please. All right, you have 1 minute to do that, please.
Yes,
go ahead.
Because of the democratic period, I'm trying to align myself. We cannot avoid political issues, because whether we talk about environment sustainability or economic sustainability, the drivers of this process are politicians. So whether we like it or not, we started resource control management and ownership. That is our frank talk. But whether we like it or not, why we are moving towards resource restructuring of the Nigerian Federation and environmental injustice in our coastal areas, we must hit the process of political balkanization, political imbalances in our country. So that is why I was trying to talk about those issues. You are aware that today in the Federation of Nigerian States, the political imbalances and the economic imbalances are not quantifiable in terms of resource ownership and control in the Ijaw land. So those are part of the things we need to tackle, and I am the best man to tackle them because advocacy is in my bone marrow. Lobbying, negotiation. Please, Orola, note that I'm the present chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Arbitrators. I'm also a mediator. By the grace of God, I was the immediate past CLO chairman. And so I have experienced over 35 years from pro-democracy struggle in Port Harcourt till now. At least I'm experienced. Tutored and schooled by the Papier and Ike Clark under SOPEC. And so I have passed through the process of serving the elders, serving the women. That is why female issue is my concern. As Mrs. Agare, we helped Amina Mohammed in Ogoni cleanup matters. And today, Mrs. Agare left as BOT member in Ogoni cleanup high prep. I'm still there as a member of the Central Advisory Committee. These are part of things we have done. That shows that I have been selflessly doing my job, and what I have, I profit back to the society. And that is why I was given OON by the federal government, the only man that has served in Ijaw Nation to this level that was given OON because of my philanthropic service and my down-to-earth service. Thank you. I took medical team to my places. I go for the elders. Any money I have, as I'm talking to you, I'm not materialistic, in Ijaw Nation. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Wonderful. Any other question for him? Because I doubt if other candidates are here. All right. If there's not a question for me, I have one. Salabor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What would be measurably different in the INC after your first 1 year in office under your leadership? And the second part, the second part is, what would it be remembered? What would it like
Madam,
to be remembered after your term?
Legacy question. As I'm talking to you, madam, I surprised my president by rolling out a calendar. I'm sure some of you have seen it. INC have never have a calendar that's supposed to include what we have done and what we have as something for legacy. As I'm talking to you, the 2026 calendar is being produced by me, but I've been very careful because I don't want people to copy it. I'm going to hand over a copy to Mr. President. Okay. That is one unique thing. And other unique thing, I told you here that my team will continue to sensitize our people on cultural identity and language. And we have packaged a language process that's supposed to be compulsory in our primary school and secondary school, and should be a GS course and a departmental course in our institution. And I want to also inform you that as I'm talking to you, there is no identity for any Ijaw man. I have produced a membership certificate. So all of you in Europe and in America, you will stay there and receive your membership certificate. Immediately I come on board. As I'm talking, ID card is even nothing. So membership, every Ijaw man in this world must put a membership certificate in his house. Sure. Those are the unique things in the first less than 6 months. I make sure everybody have membership certificate to identify yourself. Wonderful. You'll be glad it's done.
Okay. There's another question. Our Honorable Secretary from the INCA has a question. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, moderator. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm hearing you clear.
Chief, thank you very much for all you've done for Ijaw Nation and all you've plans to do when given the opportunity. I just want to ask a simple question. It's been recently argued that the phrase Ijaw struggle said has a very negative connotation in the whole Ijaw agitation. And that our leaders most times turn these tangible outcomes to personal gains. And they argue that it is time for us to change that phrase to something like maybe a development agenda, because the word struggle itself has a very negative connotation. I just want to know your position on that argument.
1 minute, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We are moving towards developmental agenda, and that is why Sarah Labo had the brief of developmental agenda. But as more we continue to talk, others will want to take over my developmental agenda in a way. But as I'm informing you, that is why I told you, you cannot develop without being in peace and in unity. Next, you have to partner, you have to collaborate, you have to dialogue, you have to negotiate, you have to lobby, you have to reach out to make sure the right people is given the right job and the right people take over the job to work. Development does not only on the infrastructure. Development must be on human development. I was involved in United Nations Niger Delta Development Agenda. If you log in, you will see my name under bio of them. You will agree with me that the indices of development is very, very necessary. Therefore, I want to tackle those human development area in terms of reaching out, even if need to be going to Abuja, director of PTDF, the civil service, those recruiting. Because if our people in Ijaw land is recruited, they change all the name in Abuja. That is what is happening. So our development, the young boys are not having better job to do, even if their exorbitancy is recognized. We need to create opportunity for job, opportunity for skill acquiring, skill education, because the paper does not pay. If you have a skill identity that you can do what you want to do with your hand and your tools and equipment, it's better off than even the civil service work. How much are they paying? Our people abroad are doing skill job, those skill jobs, but you have more money on that. So we need to reorient our people, resensitize our people, re-equip our people in a way that education is tool to success. However, there must be entrepreneurship and education by skill. Thank you.
All right. I have one more question.
Oh, madam. Don't worry, I am very gender friendly. Gender friendly. Thank you.
Okay, great. So my last question to you is that one of the things that I have noticed, this is from me, about the leadership across the Ijaw Nation specifically, is the fact that some leaders do not accept criticism. How would you handle if somebody criticizes you for their own opinion?
Thank you very much. I told you from my background that I was CLO chairman. I faced a lot of criticism when the Amasoma killing was done from the government house. But we were able to penetrate and get those that were killed, the pictures and the injured person, and hand over to National Human Rights Commission. And the community chiefs went to radio that they don't know that those people who killed. Meanwhile, it's police and other people that killed those people. And that is a pure criticism on air, calling my name. But I didn't relent. At the end, during the SARS mobile court system, the same chiefs came to meet me that we should help them to tender their case. I now delegated David West, who is the present chairman of CLO, to go and help them. And we won the case. We won 3 cases. As I'm talking to you, 3 policemen is on hanging list during my tenure. We have done so. So criticism is part of leadership. That's what we call feedback mechanism. I have been criticized a lot, but what I manage the criticism is my philanthropic duty. So people cannot say I'm talking alone. Now I pay JAM form. Every year I pay JAM form. Every year I pay a form for students in College of Health. I do various things for people. So now that area where I will be criticized, I don't do everything is gone. But now, sometimes people will pick on you because of other issues. So criticism, any leader that do not want criticism, is like some of our governors and leaders. When you criticize them, they put you in prisons. When you criticize, but only them is talking. Madam, it will be interesting to note, when I started this work, do you know that they put my name in radio stations that they should not take my story because of Ijaw struggle? They put it in Nigerian Tide and Radio Rivers that they should not release my story each time I'm there. That government is the problem of criticism. They don't want to be criticized, but they are the heavy liar and the highest propaganda. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, brothers and sisters, I don't know if the other candidates are here. I didn't see them. Did anybody, Honorable Secretary?
No, I thought you will give me a parting shot.
Yes, I will. I just wanted to make sure where we're heading.
Moderator, did not see any other candidate here.
All right. Okay, great. All right. So with that said, Salabor, what is the final word that you have for your brothers and sisters?
My brothers and sisters, home and abroad, at this moment and this time, Nengi James is the right candidate, who have over 35 years experience, tutored, schooled, and trained, mentored by the Paprie and Ike Clark. I was their youth leader for SOPEC, South People's Congress, for 15 years, incarcerated. I have experience in IYC as one of the founders of the Ijaw Youth Council. I'm a Mosendi. I'm also a member of Mosend. I was not a founder. I headed electoral committee that brought in late young Bukoware. I also was used as EFCC to investigate all the misappropriation and mismanagement of Mosend. And so heads rolled. And I want to inform you that I'm suitable for that work, and the elitocracy and the eutocracy and the chiefsocracy and all the crises we are seeing will be handled by reaching out to our governors. Do you know our governors? The traditional rulers in the Ijaw land must be respected and must be given the adequate respect and honor. And I believe that if I'm voted, Madam, you are there, your membership will come to you. There is no membership certificate produced whatever. I have produced a calendar 2026. Membership, everybody, this haphazard situation can't stop. There must be a better method of keeping our record. As an administrator for about 20-something years, keeping record is very important. And record security is very important. So Ijaw land must have a difference. Ijaw land must be great. Ijaw land must be culturalized. Ijaw land must be for Ijaw people. Thank you. Vote for me. Adiebonye James is the right man. No English, no grammar on ground.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, if there's no other candidate, I just want to use this opportunity to thank the two candidates.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Engineer Wodu.
Oh.
I've just entered your Zoom link.
Okay. Well, let me ask, because we only have less than 15 minutes before the time that was allotted. Brothers and sisters, what do we do? We continue?
Yes, we can continue. I think we have the time.
Okay. All right. All right. Great. All right. Thank you, Salabor, for the wonderful presentation that you have given us. And we look forward to the day of voting. Thank you. Let me formally introduce him. He's Engineer Adiebonye Wodo. He's an aspirant of the President of the Ijaw National Congress. Engineer Wodo labeled himself as a man of vision, but of few words. He has bachelor degrees in technology and master's degree in engineering with over 40 years of experience. He has served in various capacities, including an RNC member from 2008 to 2016, and as the INC National Secretary currently since 2021, and has contributed enormously to the Ijaw Nation struggle. Please, we want to use this opportunity to welcome him for a 15-minute presentation to his brothers and sisters what his intentions and leadership intent is for the INC. Take it on, sir.
Thank you very much. You have truly highlighted my background, so I have very little work to do in that area. Just like the moderator rightly said, my name is Engineer Bipamowe Wodu. I am from Opurumo clan in the Ekiremo local government area of Bayelsa State. And you have given the whole background, so like she said, I'm a presidential candidate, currently the National Secretary. And my vision, like I've always said, is to, number one, unite the Ijaw Nation. Number two, sustain the current efforts, the efforts of the current administration of the INC in internationalizing the struggle, the Ijaw struggle. I am also here to say the INC must continue to run as a proper organization, not an organization like we met when there were really nothing on ground. It was running in the pockets of some people, some houses of some people, offices of some people. But now the INC has a place where everybody can come. Those efforts need to be sustained. Like I always say, I am here to take the Ijaw Nation to the promised land. We are not there yet, and we don't want people who will take us back to Egypt. Egypt could mean in this case INC that has become comatose, like we met. INC that does not have records. INC that is full of infighting. But the current wave, we are now taking our INC to the international level. Like I always say, I contributed in ensuring that the INC is registered with UMPO. We are making attempts to register with the Chatham House. The INC right now have a digital map. A map, we have given a geographical definition to the Ijaw Nation. Before, we didn't know where the Ijaw Nation was because we only had a sketch map. That's why the Arewas will put some parts of the Ijaw Nation as part of their land. The Oduduwas, the Indigbos, the Biafrans will take some part of the Ijaw Nation and put as part of their land. Now we have a map that has given the Ijaw Nation a geographical identity. We need things like that sustained. We want a situation where the Ijaw Nation will know that we have an umbrella body that can speak for it. Before now, tell somebody, come and be an ESCO member of INC and pay 100,000 naira. You hardly see anybody who will do that. But today, you tell people, come and pay for a form of 500,000, 1 million naira, they are rushing to come and be, because they've now seen that the INC is now running like a proper organization. That's the type of INC we want to do. Like I also say, as president, when I become president, I'll also have a humanitarian desk. Ijaw people are being punished for no crime they have committed. They are marginalized. We are always even not given the fair share, even though we produce about 76% of the revenue of the country. We are going to make sure, but not by carrying guns. We believe we have passed that level. We will use intellectual militancy. We will do engagement and make sure things are done. We have tested it, it's possible. So that is the kind of government I will run if I become the president of the Ijaw Nation. You said I have 15 minutes. Yes, I hope I still have time.
Yes, to present, yes, you do have time. So go ahead. You have like maybe eight more minutes.
Okay, if I have 8 more minutes, that's fine.
Yeah, this is your brothers and sisters. Tell us exactly what your intention, what you're going to do differently, given that you're the current secretary and also part of leadership.
Yes, as president, when I become the president, I will give the Ijaw National Congress now a face that people will look at and say, yes, this is an organization we can trust. Credibility is one thing and integrity is one thing everybody has known me for. And that is what I'll bring to the INC. We are trying to do that, but you see, when you are not the head of a particular organization, you cannot do everything you want. We came into office without a structure, but right now we have set up like 80% of the structures that should be in place with the INC. Sorry, my phone is being interrupted by calls. That's why I don't like using my phone to enter these lines. So many people are calling me up and down. I hope that won't be obstructing the calls. So basically, that is the type of INC I'll run. So let me even end here and give you an opportunity to ask. As you ask questions, I will be able to answer and throw more light on all the areas I'll perform when I become president. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, brothers and sisters, you heard from Engineer Wodo. Do you have any question for him? Any question? You can either unmute yourself or type it in the chat box. Any question for Engineer Wodo? Okay, if no one has any question, let me ask you.
I have one.
Okay, go ahead, please. Introduce yourself and ask.
Yeah. My name is Roland Izulu. I'm from Nembe, Bolumabri. And I want to ask you, it was a question that was actually meant for the candidates that have presented themselves. And I do not see the first one and the nuclear scientist, professor or doctor or sci-fi.
So let me correct something. We agreed here that since they were not all together, that they can present and leave. So once they presented, they had a choice of either staying behind or they leave. But I still see Adiebonye here. If you have any questions, but this is specifically time for Engineer Wodo. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Now, a lot of guys did not understand the term Governor General, and it was bandied about as if it was just a soft word, just to be able to use just for political narratives and all that during Alamisia's time. And I'm not talking about the person of Alamisia, I'm talking about the role of a Governor General, because you were scattered across different states based upon the Nigerian model of state creation. Now, your role, my opinion is that you are the head of a nation on its own, but unfortunately in the Nigerian states. And so every thought process, every collective engagement is geared towards the improvement of the people of Ijaw Nation, economically, socially, infrastructure-wise, and all that. How do you see that position? One. And how do you intend to impact people in these areas of their human existence using the tool and the platform of the INC?
Okay, Engineer, you have 1 minute to answer that.
Okay, thank you very much. The term Governor General is just a term used to describe the governor of Bayelsa State being the home of all Ijaws. If you look critically, all Ijaws migrated from Bayelsa. That's why sometimes we say Bayelsa is the Jerusalem of the Ijaw Nation. You see, that does not mean, and that's why in Bayelsa State you have even commissioners from other states. You have special advisors from other Ijaw states. The governor of Bayelsa State just recently even went to Arugbo in Ondo State and awarded the civic center for them. They carry on projects in River State. In Ataba, they constructed roads. So it's just to show that the governor of Bayelsa State is a person that has authority, that operates in all Ijaw states. And above all, the Bayelsa State you are seeing today was facilitated, the creation of the state was facilitated by the INC, the Ijaw National Congress, which is a body that covers all of them. So that's why that term, Governor General, is being called. Then secondly, as the president of the Ijaw Nation, yes, our intention is to use this office to bring development and progress to the Ijaw Nation. But unfortunately, the INC does not have a particular vote. The INC only has to interact with other political organizations, the states, the NDDC, the Amnesty, or other organizations to ensure that we get development, we make them bring development to our people.
Okay.
So as president of the INC, that's why I say unity is very important. We will make sure all these people are, and these organizations are in one page with us.
Okay.
So that whatever we agitate that comes through that, we will monitor and ensure that it benefits the Ijaw Nation.
Okay.
We don't have our own vote, but through these various organizations, we will bring development to the Ijaw Nation. Thank you very much.
All right, great. We have another question. Chief Pastor Borrell, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Engineer Wodu, happy to see your face today.
It's a pleasure too.
Yes. I have a quick question for you. My name is Jennifer Borrell, for those that don't know me, and I am the Vice President Emeritus of INC America.
I know you very well.
Thank you, sir. My question is, you held a very, very important position in this current administration as the secretary. I always tell people that come to me in an organization that is the position of the secretary is I would say the most important position in every organization, because you see all and you know all that is going on in that particular organization. You now want to be the head of INC. You want to lead the boat or the ship. Can you tell us two things that it's not criticizing, that is not working currently, just two because of time? Two things that are not working that you are going to improve on, that we are all going to take home with. If you get this position, that will be using it as a benchmark for you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you have 1 minute to answer that, sir.
Okay. Jennifer, thank you very much. I think that's a very good question. You see, I agree with you totally. As Secretary General, you are the center of the organization. Even though you are not the head, you are the chief operating officer of the organization, because you support your president with information, data, and all that. You see, right now, a particular thing I know I'll do is, number one, is to improve the Ijaw house. You see, a place, your condition of your official space determines to a large extent how well you perform. So as president, I will ensure that we have a better working environment and a better face for the Ijaw Nation. That's number one. Number two, we have, I said I will make sure there's a humanitarian desk in the INC. That desk is meant to take care of the welfare of all Ijaws, take care of the Ijaws that are disadvantaged. You see, we are in several places, but sometimes anonymous, because we are not allowed to operate. The INC will create a platform where any Ijaw anywhere will be comfortable, knowing that if they have any problem, there is somebody that will come and speak for them. So that desk is something I will introduce when I become president. So for me, you said two. Even though I have more, but I'll give you those two, the two you want. So I'll end there for now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she said two major ones. We know that you have others. Okay. All right. So moving ahead, we have our brother Adiebonye Jumbo. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you again once more, Ms. Moderator and Engineer Wadu. Welcome. I wanted to follow up on the question
Thank
that Chief Pastor Jennifer asked, and you rightly said one of your first major tasks, if elected, would be to fix the Ijaw house. So if I may ask, how would you do that, considering that finances are a problem for an organization like this? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. You see, when I spoke earlier, I said, as the head of the Ijaw National Congress, we don't have a vote, but we have organizations that our sons and daughters, or organizations that are created for our well-being. We ensure that we go and make sure those organizations deploy some of those resources for development of the Ijaws, and getting them, like the NDDC, even Bayelsa State, Rivers State. We have, for a very long time, we have never had two governors. Now we have the governor of Rivers State, we have the governor of Bayelsa State, we have the managing director of NDDC, we have the amnesty office, we even have the local content that is sitting down, the Nigerian Content and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, that is also monitoring, that is also sitting around here. We also have the oil companies. That's a major area that we have not exploited. There is a corporate social responsibility part that they are not really playing. As president of the Ijaw National Congress, we activate all that to ensure that they bring some of those resources to develop things that the Ijaws need. And the Ijaw House is one of it, because that's the symbol of unity of the Ijaw Nation. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll have another person, excuse me, but I don't know the name. It says iPhone. Can you
I'm sorry, Professor Jumbo is me, very good.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know it was showing.
Yes.
Professor Jumbo, before I ask my question, I want to salute you.
Thank you.
This is a wonderful moderation, and you're doing a wonderful job, ma.
Thank you.
Okay, so Engineer Wodu, my question is concerning the humanitarian decks. You said you're going to create that we interface with our people for welfare purposes. I know in the National Executive, we have the welfare secretary, welfare officer position. Will the welfare officer be the one in charge coordinating with these decks so that it won't, because there's a welfare department officer in the National Executive. So I just want you to expatiate a little about that, sir.
So
Yeah, I think you have just shown that you have been a member of the National Executive Council before. So I don't expect anything less from you. But be sure that whatever we do, we will not do things that will conflict with the office of any officer. It's not only the humanitarian desk will not concern only the welfare officer. Imagine when we have a legal problem, for example. The national legal advisor will be involved. You know, when we also have some other problems, other officers will be involved. This is something that the whole ESCO will take. It's not necessarily the welfare officer that will be head, but we will agree that one of these officers could even be head, or even somebody from outside. It will be a desk, a committee, but every officer that has business to do with the office of the humanitarian desk will be part of that committee, so that be sure there will be no conflict. It's not necessarily only welfare. It goes far, far, far beyond welfare. So, but for sure, whatever will be done will not conflict with the responsibilities of any of the officers. That's what I want to assure you. Thank you very much.
Well,
even women affairs, you were the women affairs
No, I
secretary
was the
before.
welfare secretary.
Women affairs will even be involved.
No,
So
I
it's
was
all,
the
it will be all embracing. Yes.
no,
Okay, you were
Professor
also you were
Wodu.
the
I
welfare
was
secretary.
welfare
Sorry,
officer.
yes.
I was
I
the
was
welfare
confusing it. Thank
secretary
you.
officer.
That's why you were concerned about welfare.
Yes, so that's what I'm asking, so that there won't be a kind of,
right. Okay.
when you create it. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Wonderful. Any other question?
No, just like I said, the office will go beyond just welfare issues. There will be a lot of other things that will be involved there. So, but every officer that is concerned will be a part of it.
Okay.
Part of it,
That's what I
or
want to
should head
assure
it.
you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I see.
The desk will have, it will be multidisciplinary desk.
Okay. All right. I think you've answered that. Any other?
Yes.
I think Roland asked, do you have a question, Roland? He said, with what resources? I think that's what he said.
Yes.
In regards to that.
Yes. Sorry, I lost connection. It's been happening too much. It's a two-pronged question. You talked about a desk will be created for the welfare to interface with all the jobs. This requires structure, finance, and human capacity. One is aware of historically how it has been exemplified in the US in the past. The issue of resources is tied to the demographic of INC. What is the size of registered members? I am not officially a member. Let me just be upfront here, and I would desire to be. But what is the size of the registered members of the INC across the entire gamut of the 70-something or 80-something clans that we have? What is the template that they have to be able to work with to ensure that we get everybody? Because that would be tied to the amount of volume of resources that you'll be able to gather and deploy, which is also tied to the question I asked earlier on about economic or political agenda to achieve what you want. So where would you get the resources to be able to finance these welfare initiatives that you're thinking about?
Okay. Go ahead, Engineer. Engineer Wodo? Is it still here?
Hello.
Okay, we can.
Yes, I think his network was cracking, so I may not have got everything.
He said that
but then, if I understand very well, I had some of it. So let me just answer. I believe.
Okay.
Yes. Number one, he talked of what is the size of the membership.
Right.
Number two, he also said he's not a member yet. It's people like this who will be targeting. We want them to become members.
Yeah.
For the fact that he has joined this platform means he's interested in the well-being, welfare of the Ijaw Nation.
Right.
So there is no reason why he should not come and join the INC.
Number three said, what resources do you have to fund the humanitarian desk?
Yeah. Yes, that also is related to the last question I answered. Mm-hmm. You see, number one, our membership database that shows that we are about a little above 20,000 registered members now. Mm. Remember when we started, we didn't have even no record, but we have over 20,000 in our membership register now. Then secondly, if you look at the membership register, just like my brother just said, he's not a member. Even in Nigeria, a lot of people are not. So aggressive membership drive is one thing we'll have to do. Everybody who is who in the Ijaw Nation will become members. That won't be difficult now with the recent interest in the INC affairs. I believe we'll get there.
Okay.
Then secondly, say what resources? I answered that already because when they were saying how would I get resources to build the Ijaw Nation, it's the same answer.
Right.
We have the oil companies that are operating all over Ijaw land.
Right.
There's corporate social responsibility component. They budget these things, but does not spend these things in the Ijaw Nation.
Right.
We will ensure that money will come to us.
Okay.
We'll also collaborate and effectively work with development agencies like the NDDC, even the two state governments. Like I said, we have two governors right now. We have the NDDC, we have the Amnesty Office. There are a lot of other areas that we'll work with to raise the funds.
Okay.
It's possible. It's just the rich. Have you even imagined that if we are able to approach all the Ijaw local governments to bring a small percentage of their allocation to help us solve the problem of the Ijaw Nation? If we're able to pull through that, it will be a lot of resources. There are a lot of ways money can be raised.
Okay.
It's just having the idea to go about it that is the problem. I think that's for me. I don't know if I've answered all his questions because I didn't hear some of it.
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
We also have Chief Burrell that is coming back again. I think she says she has another question. Sister Iberi, please.
Thank you.
Please put down your hand. Please put down your hand. Sister Iberi, please put down your hand if you don't have any more questions. Go ahead, Chief Pastor Burrell.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. My second question to Engineer Wodu is equality, gender equality. I'm referring this to you because you've been around in the system for a while. And I'm very happy that one of the candidates published the past presidents of INC. My question is, what I can see, I am fairly new. I will consider it compared to other people, I'm fairly new in INC. I know that women have been able to break the ceiling of getting to the position of vice. And some particular positions like welfare and now the vice and some other positions are somewhat designed the way I can say it, and we have women. What are we putting in place? If it is to mentor, if it is succession planning, what are the things that if you become the president today, that you put in place to enable a woman come up to be a president of INC?
Okay, 1 minute, please. You have other questions being thrown at you, so go ahead.
Thank you very much. That's an interesting question. But it's not even a question that I should answer. It's for the women to answer. But I'll tell you a story. I'll use that to answer your question. I went to my community once to organize an election for the paramount ruler of my community. My community, Adiebonye, is one of the major oil-producing communities in Bayelsa State. I looked at the electoral register and I called them for a meeting, the community for a meeting. Most of them were men. And now say, women don't vote here. Why? The women say we vote, but it's only for women leaders. I said, no, the constitution says everybody is qualified for every position. So why are you people not contesting? And I told them you are free. So to cut a long story short, before I organized the election itself, women came and took over like 3 or 4 positions in the executive council. So all we need to do is sensitize them. Even people like Jennifer, Ebiere, all of you, sensitize the women to come and compete. No office is meant for women. Welfare secretary is not necessarily an office for women. A man can also occupy it. The president is for everybody. The constitution allows you. So all we need to do is women should have that confidence to come out and contest. Dr. Mrs. Rose Oboforobo contested for the presidency in 2017. She narrowly lost. Everybody knew she would have won. Another woman should try. You know, you have enough women. Like moderator is a very powerful woman herself. So it's not for us. Yes, I am actually gender sensitive. But the point is, women should not shy away from these roles. Nothing like now, in the 3 zones, women are contesting for the vice president. Very good. In the 3 zones, there are women candidates. So I'm sure by the time they start occupying vice president, they will have the confidence to go. It's about confidence building. So you don't even need anybody to come and sensitize you. You are educated enough. You can read the constitution and know that you are qualified for it. And come out to canvass for it. You get there. So I believe that I will support a woman. If I see a qualified woman, a courageous woman that can lead us, why not? We have presidents of so many powerful countries that are women. So Jennifer, you are a very powerful woman. Come on, you have been vice chairman. You can contest. Start with being the chairman of INC Americas. To encourage others. They have not seen even, there was a woman that had served as, I think, chairman, church of Lagos chapter. Besides that, no other woman has occupied any of those positions. So they can. So I will encourage any woman that has the courage to do so. Thank you.
All right, very wonderful.
Much.
Thank
you.
Mrs.
Akamade was in charge of the...
Yes, Akamade was also in charge for a very long time. Yes, that's true.
A long time,
that's correct. I worked with her for a very long time. She's a very powerful woman herself.
I think she meant the INC in general, which is the main.
No, it's for you to come and contest. Nothing is stopping you. Nothing stops any woman from coming in.
All right, wonderful. Mr. Roland, do you have a follow-up question before I move to Sister Iberi?
Yes, I do. I do, and that's more on paradigm and philosophy. Let's be very clear. What is going on in Nigeria, in the Niger Delta, with regards to resource exploitation or extraction, is a milder version of what is going on in the Congo. The Congo is being replicated in the Middle Belt. That's why you have all these crises. Forget all the ethnic talk and all that. Those are just the surface issues. Now, because we are a people that are not inherently violent, except when we are pushed to the wall, we are being taken advantage of. Now, when you want to talk about collaboration, which you have said, which of the surface is okay? Collaborating with the oil companies, which are transnational companies and are derivatives of the colonial or pre-colonial times when they came in and did their gumbo diplomacy and took over our spaces and turned it into the Nigeria that we know now. You talk about collaborating with the government and then the agencies. It still goes away from the emphasis I see from your submission is collaborating with the structures in place which are designed to disempower us. And I'm wondering, how would we be able to still be able to have the leverage on a chessboard and still be able to extract maximum benefit for ourselves, where by inference, your development, your advancement is negative to them. That's my challenge. And I need you to be able to look at that if you don't mind. And I don't want to
Okay.
sound militant here,
No,
but
I
I'm being
understand
very
what you are
blunt.
saying.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
1 minute because you have more questions.
Yes, thank you very much. I think this question is good, but if you understand me very well, I said there's always a component of corporate social responsibility by all the oil companies. So that is what we are we are not going to beg them. It's a budget they have. Once we know the budget, we will say, apply this budget to do some of these things. But our ultimate aim is having resource control, to control our resources. But I've also said it in my manifesto. You see clearly that I have said my objective, my main target is to ensure that we have minimum of 50% derivation as it was in the 60s. You see, when we went to President Buhari to make a presentation, we gave him certain minimum conditions for the Ijaw Nation to continue to remain in Nigeria and be happy. Mm-hmm. And we said a minimum of 50% derivation. That's one of it. So, and that is what I still believe in. That I will collaborate with the Bayelsa State government, I'll collaborate with the Rivers State government, that I'll collaborate with the NDDC, is because they have votes in those organizations already meant to develop us.
Okay.
Those monies should not be diverted. That's simply what I'm saying. Okay. But we'll pursue that area of resource control and resource justice, and eventually resource control. Okay. You see, I've also said we want to make sure we have at least, while we are in Nigeria, 2 additional states of Torebe State and Oyo River State. That's something we have started pursuing. I went to the National Assembly to defend it 2-3 times. I've gone to the National Assembly thrice, to the House of Reps, to the Senate, to defend that presentation on the state's creation. Okay. So we are not going to beg them and now begin to jeopardize our possibility of getting resource control and eventually our own resource control, our country of our own.
Okay.
You know, we are not going to beg them, but these are things budgeted. They must be used. Now they divert them to elsewhere to go and develop other people. Wonderful. So that's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Sister Iberigo, do you have another question? Sister Iberigo?
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Okay. I'm sorry, actually, I came back because I have a couple of questions. And
so go ahead and ask.
Okay, yeah. So I just want to support what Pastor Jennifer said. That was a very good question. Mm-hmm. And I am happy, Engineer Wodu, you are saying you are open to supporting women. Mm-hmm. I hope you will go through when you become the president, because in the national executive, they only give positions that they feel they are for women. Mm. That is what they do. And Mrs. Ankyo was the first person that contested for president of Ijaw Nation. And I was among the people that was going around them lobbying for her. Ijaw men, even elders, were telling me, they were telling me, Ebiere, Ijaw Nation is not ready for a woman president. Mm. This thing you people are carrying cannot work. Ijaw men, no, that is what they were telling us. You understand? It's so sad. And again, when I brought in that our Apoi regent, then she was a ruling regent. She was on the throne because when the father died, she took up. When I brought her to Ijaw Nation to attend Citrus meeting, they said it's a taboo. How come a woman is a traditional ruler? Mm. That is the ego of Ijaw men. Wow. Then Mrs. Rose Obofribo I think she contested twice also. Now she's contesting for vice president. It's because of this narrative they just believe women are not ready to lead the Ijaw Nation. And they've forgotten women. We multitask. That is why anything we do, we succeed in it. And I was the first welfare officer for Ijaw Nation. And they were thinking my position is when they want to have PTM meeting during this thing, I provide welfare, coke and jollof rice. Anytime INC has defense, they felt that was my position. I was fighting.
Okay, sis,
That no, more women must be, more women must be involved. So please, sir, I just hope you will follow through. When it is time for a woman to take the M, even if it's after your tenure, when you get there, please make sure we are there. And again, you spoke about Story Bear and the rest. So what is your position in the just self-actualization? Then thirdly, my question is, anytime our sons and daughters get into a place of position, they're always scared to leave their people. We have a brother that was a president. We have lots of Ijaw sons and daughters, especially Ijaw sons that are in place of position. They are afraid of the Nigerian state. And when other people get there, they favor their people more. They do things more for their people. Why is it like that? Why is Ijaw not like that? That is my question to you, sir. Okay. So how are you going to interface and see how we get there? And lastly, sir, I want to, where do you see yourself standing side by side with the likes of the president of Ohaneze, Afenifere Leadership, and Arewa Consolidated Forum?
All right.
How can you stand side by side with these people to represent Ijaw Nation effectively? Very far.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a lot of questions.
So many questions. So thank you. So many questions. But for me, all other questions were just comments.
Right.
All others, I will throw it back to the women. All you need is the courage. If 10 years ago, the Ijaw men say we are not ready for a woman to lead us, is that the situation today? Until you continue to try and try and try, you will not get there. We need women of courage. Don't be scared. If some people say they don't want you, there are also others that will support you. So continue to get one person.
I think your network is okay. It's giving up on us.
Other calls are coming in. I'm cutting them. That's why.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to say is, when you say the real question is, how will I stand side by side with the leaders of other ethnic nationalities when I become president? I think that's the most important question out of all the areas I asked. I'm not saying the others are not important, but the others are questions that we'll just say are comments. You see, to tell you what I can do when I become president, I'll draw reference from a meeting I had with in 2021, around December 2021, where the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former military general, and the Sultan of Sokoto were co-chairmen. In that meeting, we had representatives of the Arewa, we had representatives of the all ethnic nationalities. We have Gumi, we have different people. Everybody was there, all you can see. When it got to my turn, it was a security conference. I told them there can't be security in Nigeria without peace and justice. And that we from the Ijaw Nation, we own the oil. They are tapping the oil and we are not getting any benefit. They don't give anything back to us. Obasanjo started hitting the table. There, you have come again, you have come again. I kept quiet and gave it to him and told him, yes, if we in the Ijaw Nation that God has given this oil and the oil is taken from us, we are faced with all these disadvantages and all these environmental degradation, environmental problems are not giving something. There can't be peace in Nigeria. So he shouted, I gave it to him. So after when we got to the break time, he ran away. So it's some people I can face. These are people they already know me. As National Secretary, I've represented INC in several fora.
Okay.
And I'm ready to stand before them and say anything, express myself. I'm not going there as Engineer Bipamowe Wodu. Remember, I'm going as a representative of the Ijaw Nation, a nation that is among the four largest ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. So we definitely I have the capacity to face anybody, and it has been done before. So it's something I'm ready to do at any time. So vote for me. You'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. I think that will be the last question from the everyone. But I have one crucial one that I'm really been lingering in my heart. I wish the other candidates were here, but unfortunately, the way that things happened, they are not here. Engineer Wodu, one of the things that I have seen personally is leadership problems in the INC, both in the chapters as well as at home. Now, if you're elected, and I know that we live and continue to live to learn, I have not seen where there are leadership conferences. Sometimes you learn from others, and that is what is called lesson learned, and also transfer of knowledge. What is your plan? Ensuring that your leaders across the board or the spectrum are ready to lead. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of leadership problem in the Ijaw Nation. I just told you, before we came into office, INC became comatose because the people who were leaders at that time were always fighting themselves to the extent that they could no longer be at peace to lead anymore. You see, that's why the Ijaw Nation should give kudos to the current administration. We have stayed from 2021 to now, and we are still in one piece. We are going to end in 2 months' time. You see, but again, one thing we will do is we have to do a lot of leadership conferences. Mm-hmm. In this administration, we have had 2 different meetings. One, we had a training meeting that took us for about 1 week that went through administration of organizations like this. You know, organizations like this are very difficult to run because everybody here comes as equals. Mm-hmm. As president, you are only a leader, or just one among equals. Everybody is elected. Right. You see, if you go to the administration of a state, for example, the governor is elected with his deputy. He even selected his deputy. So that already from day one makes his deputy to be loyal to him. He appoints his commissioners so he can dictate to them. But here, people are elected together with you to come and rule. Mm-hmm. More so in the INC, you don't even have so much funds you are controlling that you say, okay, if you are not loyal, we will not allocate money to your office or something. So you must have that management ability to be able to manage them. And training and retraining is one thing that is very, very important. Okay. And again, you need people who are committed to the struggle. Okay. So many people are not committed. They just want to come and bear the name, I'm an ESCO member of the INC, and use it as a platform to get other things.
Okay. All right.
So we'll try our best within this place to whoever comes, we'll do leadership training, we'll do a lot of it.
Okay. All right.
Within the limited financial ability of the organization, we'll do some leadership training and ensure that we try and mold everybody to a point where we all know what we need to do within the INC. Wow. That's very important.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So for the opportunity for those who are here listening, and probably those who also hear the recording, what is your last word to your brothers and sisters concerning your position wanting to be the national president?
Yes, thank you very much. My last word to the Ijaw Nation, because I see that a program like this will be listened to by all Ijaws. I want to say, let us embrace the INC. I have come to lead the INC and by implication the Ijaw Nation. People should have trust in the INC. My brother that is not registered, please collect a form from INC Americas. If they don't give you, you can even call me directly. Our moderator can give you my number. We'll send a form to you and you fill and come and join. We all need to build this organization together so that it becomes a strong one.
Okay.
Number two, I want to urge all those who are actually delegates to vote for me.
Okay.
That if you vote for me, you will not regret it because you'll be proud of having me as the president. And our people in the diaspora will be my focus. One of my focus. I know what you are saying. I know what's going on in the Americas, and it's something I am aware of. I believe once I become the president, I'll be able to resolve all those differences and then put the organization, even in America and other parts, on the real path of progress. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Engineer Woden, for joining us. And to all our candidates, those who are here and those who have left, thank you for engaging in this very crucial conversation. And to the distinguished members of the Ijaw Nation or National Congress, your attention and your commitment to the future of our nation is very important. Now, as we approach the 2026 elections, I want to let you know that the responsibility rests with all of us to carefully evaluate the vision, evaluate the competency, the integrity, and the capacity to deliver measurable objectives or results. Leadership is not simply about aspiration. It is about structure, it is about execution and accountability. So I encourage every delegate and stakeholder to reflect critically on the ideas presented today in our midst and to remain engaged in shaping a stronger, more united, and developed focused Ijaw National Congress. Thank you all, brothers and sisters, for joining us this evening or this afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you. And thank you for having me as your moderator. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. And goodbye.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Very, very good job. Very good job. Well done.